My friends, welcome to this Facebook Live. We woke up to a nightmare this morning looking at the news headlines of an NDP Liberal Socialist coalition. This is a subversion of our democracy. You know, Canadians didn't vote for a Liberal majority government in the last election, but this secret backroom deal that has come out in the media shows that the will of Canadians has been subverted. And it's very worrisome. Canada can't afford this. Canada cannot afford further destruction by this Liberal government. You look at the financial stability of our country. You look at the damage to our ability to use our own Canadian energy. You look at the affordability crisis that we're in. You know, we need a Conservative government to return Canada to the days of a low tax economy that protects jobs in every sector, that creates opportunity for all Canadians. End of the day, you know, this terrifying news of this socialist coalition should be a reminder to us that we have to get this leadership right, that we have to make sure we can win. Because my worry is right now we see a coalition that goes to 2025 and the damage on our country will be enormous. But could you imagine if the Liberals win again? If we don't get this leadership right, if we elect another leader that cannot break through in suburban Canada and beat the Liberals in their areas of strength, this NDP Liberal coalition will last even longer, beyond 2025. And the damage to Canada, to our children, to future generations, will be even more enormous. You know, they have spent and they have wasted at levels that we've never seen in this country. Can you imagine the debt that future generations are going to carry? Can you imagine the damage that will be done to our country if this socialist coalition would be in power even longer? We need to get this right in this leadership. You know, my adversary in this race, Pierre Poilievre, last week released a Trudeau-style attack ad on me. And why is he reverting to those attack ads on fellow Conservatives? Well, it's because he wants to divert from the reality that he can't win. He will never be elected Prime Minister. He has taken positions that have turned off Canadians. He cannot win. And my worry, and all of our worry should be, is that if we elect a leader that cannot win where the Liberals currently win, then this damage, this disaster of a Liberal government will continue even beyond 2025. This is our responsibility, to create a Conservative Party that can actually win. And frankly, that's what I've always done. You know, I'm elected as a proud Conservative in Brampton that is a Liberal fortress. When I was a provincial Conservative leader, I won in ridings in the GTA that the party had never won. You know, I'm proud to have led a government here in the GTA where we have balanced the budgets every year, that we have frozen taxes. We are very clearly leaning into our Conservative principles, but doing it in a manner where we attract a broader audience to our Conservative message through building real relationships. And I worry that the short-sighted positions that some in our party, like Pierre Poilievre, have taken will make it impossible for us to win in suburban Canada. I don't want to see this Liberal-NDP coalition last even longer. You know, you look at religious freedom. I don't know why Pierre has run away from religious freedom. You know, I look at the cowardly approach to Bill 21 and not calling out this bill that completely attacks religious freedom in Quebec, or even acknowledging his past mistakes on the diminishment of religious freedom, whether it be the involvement in the barbaric cultural tip line announcement in the 2015 election, or for that matter, when I look at the niqab ban press conference that Pierre had. We've broken trust amongst cultural communities in our country, and we can't have someone who's been part of that problem or even acknowledge that problem if we ever hope to win in suburban Canada. A few other things that I want to mention in this Facebook Live is, end of the day, the Liberals will do anything to stay in power. If it means cutting a deal with the NDP, they will do anything to stay in power. We can't give them gifts. And the Liberals would love nothing more than having Pierre Poilievre as a leader of the Conservative Party. He has given quote after quote, which will just write Liberal television commercials. Let me give you an example. In 2008, Pierre Poilievre said on a radio show that he wasn't sure Canada was getting value for all this money being spent to compensate former students of federally financed residential schools. This is only one example of many dumb quotes that we've seen Pierre give that is part of his public record. You know, Stephen Harper showed courage in the residential school apology. I thought it was a moment that we can be proud of as Canadians, to recognize that sad chapter in Canadian history. And the fact that Pierre would say that we weren't getting value to compensate former students at federally financed residential schools was just so inconsistent with the work that the Prime Minister Harper was trying to do in building bridges and atoning for past mistakes. You know, misguided quotes like that would just be a gift to the Liberal Party. It would write perfect attack ads for Justin Trudeau, and frankly, it would ensure they would get re-elected beyond 2025. Canada can't afford that. We can't afford a Liberal-NDP coalition that will last even longer. This backroom deal is disastrous for our country. We need to elect a Conservative government. So I encourage you to get involved in this leadership race, to sign up for the Conservative Party, to make sure that in the next election, we can elect a Conservative government in every corner of this country, to make sure in every centre of Canada, we're going to elect Conservatives. Just like I've always done in the GTA, we're going to do that across Canada. So join me in signing up for the Conservative Party, participate in this leadership, and make sure we stop this Liberal-NDP socialist coalition in its tracks.